Hey guys, it's LEGO Boys E3. Today I'm going to show you how I made these two cutter cubes. Okay, so today I'm going to be making a cutter cube. So here is an example of a cutter cube. This is one that I made very many years ago, and so it's modded actually very badly. But basically the general idea is that it kind of looks like you can turn the cube like this, but you actually can't. What you have to do is turn the middle layer 45 degrees, and then you can turn it. So normally you would make a cube like this by just turning the middle layer 45 degrees, chopping off all these points, and then extending out all of these center pieces in the middle. That way, once you turn it 45 degrees like this, that way you can turn it. And so I had the idea that since I've made a Fisher cube, which is this cube here, all I had to do is take the middle layer of this cube and replace the pieces with another cheese sail. The pieces are all interchangeable. Just move this middle layer into a cube like this. And so I was going to go ahead and do that, but then I realized these cubes are actually different sizes. They're made out of the same cube, of course, so they're the same on this axis, but since I've cut down this cube so much on this axis, it's actually a lot smaller. And of course, you wouldn't want two of the layers to randomly stick out this much further than the other layer on the final puzzle, and so what we had to do is match the size of these two cubes. So we could either do that by extending this Fisher cube, or by making a 3x3 smaller. So I didn't want to extend the Fisher cube, of course, because it's already a finished mod, so what I decided to do is just make a 3x3 smaller. So here is my compressed 3x3 mod. Basically, it's compressed in this axis and this axis, but not this one, so that it matches the dimensions of the Fisher cube pretty much perfectly. I made it by basically taking a 3x3, sticking on a belt sander, down to the point where there were basically holes in the pieces, and then I just got some filler and filled the pieces in, and then just did the rest of the modding process that you would normally do on a puzzle, like spray painting it and sanding everything down. Then I cut some custom stickers and stickered it up like this. So you can kind of see the size difference when I turn a layer like this. If I do kind of a dot pattern, you can see how all of the pieces will be sticking out a little bit further, like that centerpiece right there. It's not a huge change, but it actually is pretty significant compared to a normal 3x3. So let's just go ahead and get started with the mod. What we have to do is take apart these two puzzles. I might have to loosen it a little bit. And here we go. So I think this is going to be a little bit easier if we just do it one layer at a time. So basically I'm just going to take off one layer of both puzzles and then just switch out the pieces of one cube with the other. So I'm going to put the 3x3 pieces on top of the Fisher cube, and then I'm going to put the Fisher cube pieces on the 3x3, just like this. And here we go. So this is the beginning of our normal cutter cube. As you can see here, it kind of matches this kind of design with the weird pieces in the middle and the normal pieces on the top. And this is going to be kind of an inverse cutter cube where you have Fisher pieces on the top and kind of normal pieces in the middle. And so already you can see we kind of have that cutter cube property where you turn one layer 45 degrees. So yeah, it's kind of a cool puzzle already, but what we're going to do now is just flip the cubes around and then just take apart the other side of the cube and switch out the pieces the exact same way. And here we go with the last piece of the mod. So this was actually a very interesting mod to make. Of course, it only required taking apart two mods and then putting them together in a different way. But yeah, it actually looks really cool. Probably my favorite mod of this series yet. So this right here is kind of like the normal Fisher cube. Of course, you have to turn the middle layer 45 degrees, then you can turn it kind of just like a 3x3. It kind of just seems the same as a 3x3 except for that middle layer, just like this old one that I made, except you see it looks way better. And again, this one's kind of like the inverted cutter cube. Of course, it works the same way. You turn the middle layer 45 degrees like this, and instead of turning like a normal 3x3, it turns now like a Fisher cube, with the middle layer turning normally like a 3x3. And yeah, this one is even crazier to solve, honestly. It'll be pretty interesting. I've never actually solved a cube like this. I've only had my original cutter cube. So now I think it's just about time to scramble both these cubes up and see what they look like. So just scrambling up the cutter cube here. It looks almost just like a 3x3. Not too much difference except for those 8 pieces around the center. Looks pretty normal. I've seen that before with my other cutter cube. Anyway, for the Fisher cutter cube, this one will be more interesting, I'm sure. A little bit harder to wrap your mind around how to turn it. And it looks quite a bit cooler. It kind of just looks exactly like a Fisher cube with a couple normal 3x3 pieces mixed in. But yeah, for the most part, these cubes look really cool, and I'm really looking forward to being able to solve them. But yeah, that is just about it for this video. These are two really awesome mods, probably some of my favorite 3x3 mods that I've ever made. If you've ever made a Fisher cube, you definitely have to try this out, because it's really simple. You pretty much just have to switch pieces around with a normal 3x3. But yeah, that is pretty much it for this video. I'll see you guys next time.